I'm a firing my laser!
Hey guys, and welcome to a new Dungeon Defenders 2 video. I'm your host Mr. Peter, and this is the EV2 build. For EV2, on every gear you want to go ability power, and for your weapon, I actually recommend these three weapon types: Meg Madness Projector, Gibless 45th Gridlocker, and Celebration. I'll explain why later on. EV2 is insanely fun to play as, especially when you're using her Proton charge. She fires a Spartan laser that disintegrates anything in its path. Now the important part is understanding her heat mechanic. The more times you use her abilities, the more heat she generates. The game will tell you when you're close to overheating by making her glow. This appears when you generated 3/4 of your heat. When you do overheat, your abilities are disabled until you have cooled down. To cool down, you must auto attack to drain the heat. So managing your heat is going to be very important when playing as EV2. Now let's talk about the mods. I have healthy AP chip. As long as we have 90% of our health, we will always get the bonus stat from the mod. Ability chip, this gives us flat ability power stats, exactly what we need. And lastly, swap AP chip. When you switch to EV2, you gain ability power that lasts up to 32 seconds. The reason why I'm using this mod instead of Mana Burn AP chip is because Mana Burn does not work for EV2, so swap AP chip is the best alternative to have. 100% use snakeskin armor, you're sacrificing 1 damage mod from your chest for the extra health and damage reduction. EV2 has the worst health scaling in the game, she really needs it. It's so bad that I'm actually advising you to get this mod to level 5 or higher. And also have a pet that has hero health. Both of these will give you, well, enough health I guess. Moving on to the weapon. Personally, I want a weapon that can drain the heat as quick as possible, so I can use my laser as much as possible. So which weapon type can achieve this goal? Long story short, Celebration is the fastest at draining the heat by double, or almost double. The heat reduction timer is 12.5 seconds, followed by Gibless 45th at 21.5 seconds, and Meg Madness at 25 seconds. Now the problem with Celebration is that it uses a locked mod, so you can only have 2 mods. If you really want to climb with EV2 to floor 800 or so on, that 3rd mod slot will make the difference. That's where you have the option to use either Meg Madness or Gibless 45th. Both of them have a similar heat reduction timer, but their projectile style is different. Meg Madness is a burst gun focusing on a singular target, whereas Gibless 45th shoots a square net shape focusing on multiple targets. You can find both of these as floor loot, but for Celebration you can only find it in the Blood Moon incursion, or you can buy it from the shop. For the mods, I have Celebration. EV2's canister now fires fireworks that explode on impact. Visually awesome and very fun to use. Next I have Oil Chip. Each fireworks from Celebration does AoE, so it will splash oil to multiple enemies in the crowd. With the Shard Proton Flame Charge, this will add fire to the laser, so we can kickstart the Ignite combo where they take increased damage for a short period of time. Really good stuff. And for the last mod, I have Melee Chip. Just like our towers, we ourselves need to deal bonus percentage damage, and because half the enemies in the game are melee, Melee Chip seems the most logical choice. If you're considering using Gibless or Meg Madness and you want to know what to have as your 3rd mod slot, it's either another anti-chip for more percentage damage or Meltdown Chip. Meltdown Chip gives you more laser damage the more heat you generate, so technically the longer you shoot with the laser, the more damage it does. Really good stuff. Now let's talk about the shards. For the helmet, I have Mana Capacitor. This increases the heat capacity so we can use the laser for longer. You can find this shard in Chaos 7. And the last 2 shards are just fillers. I'm using Worm Scarf for the reduced damage and Electric Retribution for the survivability. You can use Brain of Confusion for that small chance to counter assassins. For the chest, I have Mage Gambit. You gain more ability power, but you take increased damage. Definitely worth the trade as you get tons of ability power. You can find this shard in Chaos 7. Bots of Oil. When anti-grav detonates, it oils nearby enemies and they take more damage when they're ignited. really good stuff. Anti-Grav is your tactical mine. They scale with your ability power and you can place up to 3 in the field. You can find the shard in Chaos 1. And lastly, Mine Blast Radius. This increases Anti-Grav's blast radius. That means you can splash oil to more enemies. You can find the shard in Chaos 4. You can also use Mine Heat Compensator. This reduces the heat cost for Anti-Grav. Superconductor. This reduces the heat cost of all of your abilities. And Taser Suit. This will help you to survive against assassins. For the gloves, I have Critical Strike. This increases your hero's crit chance. Crit chance affects abilities, so Proton Charge has a huge potential to deal more damage. Really good stuff. You can find the shard in Chaos 1. Construction increases repair and build speed during combat phase. Really helpful in certain situations. You can find the shard in Campaign or in Chaos 1. And lastly, Proton Flame Charge. The laser will now deal fire damage, which can help kickstart the Ignite combo. Again, really good stuff. You can find the shard in Chaos 8. For the boots, I have Speed Boost. EV2 is very slow without the shard, so by default, this is needed. You can find the shard in Campaign or in Chaos 1. Enhanced Decoy. This increases Death from Above's damage. You can find the shard in Campaign or in Chaos 1. Death from Above is your decoy. It taunts nearby enemies and explodes after a few seconds. There's a really cool combo that you can do, but I'll show you it later on. And lastly, Dummies and Bots. When you use Decoy, it leaves behind 4 anti-grabs. The damage is modified, so it's small additional damage. You can find the shard in Chaos 2. You can also consider using Insulated Decoy. This will reduce the heat cost of Death from Above. For the weapon, I have Mine Blast Damage. This increases Anti-Grav's damage. You can find the shard in Chaos 5. Proton Supercharge. This increases Proton Charge damage and also extending its range. Fantastic. You can find the shard in Chaos 7. And lastly, Proton Cannon Insulator. This reduces the heat generation of your laser. It does in fact extend the duration by 6 seconds, which is really helpful. You can find the shard in Chaos 7. For Giblets and Meg Madness users, you must use Heat Dispenser module. EV2 upgrades a canister to drain heat faster. Giblets' heat reduction timer now changes from 21.5 seconds to 13.5 seconds. That's a big jump, and Meg Madness is 25 seconds to 16.5 seconds, which is also fairly big. This shard is really effective for both of these weapons, but for Celebration, it doesn't really matter if we use this shard, as 12.5 seconds is still faster than the other two. You could use Thundering Blow for the increased damage, or maybe Drenching Strikes or Thunderstruck for the extra crowd control. For your Ascension, put your points onto Hero Health. Like I said earlier, EV2 has the worst health scaling in the game. She needs all the health that you can get. Once you maxed out Hero Health, then you want to put your points onto Proton Charge damage. On the utility tree, put your points onto movement speed so you can have that map pressure. Then put your points onto heat capacity so you can use the laser for longer, and the rest is up to you. All of them are nice stats to have, but movement speed is the most important one, followed by heat capacity. This is a very small tree, so you will eventually get all of them, it's just down to your preference. EV2's bread and butter combo is just using your laser. By the way, you can cancel this animation. When you enter siege mode, wait 0.3 seconds and then shoot your laser. If you press it too early, you'll have to wait until the animation's over. This allows you to have that immediate attack, very handy in certain situations. Remember, when you reach max heat, your abilities are disabled, so stop around about 280 or 290 to avoid overheating. This part of EV2's kit is her greatest downfall. It takes a really long time to drain heat. That's why you want a weapon that can drain the heat as quick as possible, and Celebration is doing a fantastic job. And just like that, we are back to lasering. EV2 also has a nuke combo. This requires a little prep. Plant all 3 anti-gravs down, activate your decoy, and then switch heroes. Your decoy will instantly detonate while also detonating the 3 anti-gravs. Switch back to EV2 so you can get the bonus stats from swap AP chip. Your anti-gravs can only be detonated by you. You'll have to auto attack it or use your laser to detonate them. Be careful where you place them, as the oil geyser can trigger the mines. It's the only tower that can do this, so if you're using the oil geyser, think about where you're going to place them. For the decoy strategy, you'll need a ledge or a pin. Before you jump off, use your decoy. For some reason, your decoy will disappear. However, the shard dummies and bots will leave behind the anti-grabs. Try to stack as many as you can. Remember though, the anti-grabs only last up to 58 seconds. It's best to start the wave first and then prep up for the boss. Don't expect huge damage because the damage is modified. It will only deal small additional damage, but it's enough damage for you to have a head start. EV2 is a destructive individual. Having the option to wave clear with your laser is satisfying enough for you to play as her. Thank you guys and the whole community for suggesting EV2. I haven't played her in ages and it was really fun testing it out. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more DD2 content. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.